Hello and bienvenidos to Life's Questions and Lessons, the Self-Reflection Podcast. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so grateful that you are here with me today. Let's get started with today's topic, overwhelm disguised as curiosity. Overwhelm disguised as curiosity. So if this is your first episode, I highly recommend you start with our intro series, What are the Disguises of Overwhelm? It might be helpful to understand what it is that I'm talking about when I am treating overwhelm as kind of this entity or this person really that's just kind of sneakily disguising itself behind some of our passions and interests and goals. But for today's topic, we are looking at overwhelm disguised as curiosity specifically. So this is definitely my biggest challenge. I am highly curious. That's why I have a podcast based on questions. I ask questions at the beginning. The first thing I do when I wake up and open my eyes is ask a question. It obviously varies depending on what I'm going through. But from the beginning of the day, beginning of the morning, all the way to at night, I'm just curious. I want to know things. I question everything. So this is definitely the one that I find myself thinking, okay, wait a minute. Overwhelm might be getting close to this. So as I'm kind of exploring this question for myself, it's what are the warning signs, right? So I am very proactive, and I really hope that that's what I'm teaching you. It's much more difficult in a situation to try to figure out how to deal with it, like while you're in it. So if we can go through this process of self-reflection, getting ourselves out of the situation and going, okay, wait a minute, what is this going to feel like before I'm overwhelmed, right? What are these warning signs so that overwhelm doesn't completely consume you and it's not too late? So as you're exploring this question for yourself, I would think about, what are the things that you're curious about? And has there ever been a time, or recently was there a time where your curiosity led you down a slippery slope where you felt overwhelmed at the end of it? So this happens to me all the time. Like I'll find out a new topic or idea. It's usually some type of, philosophy or idea that I hear about. And I'm like, ooh, let me go Google it. And it's me. And like I said, curiosity is literally in my DNA. So 6 hours later, I'm feeling overwhelmed. Now I've looked at all the data. I've looked at everything. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. It's like, okay, well, what could I have done differently so that I could embrace that curiosity that is within me without overwhelm consuming me? So definitely as you're exploring, these questions for yourself and this topic in particular, think about how this applies in your own life. What is it right now that you're curious about? Is it something like a new hobby? Like I know last year, roller skating was huge for me, and I was looking up all the things, and I had to pace myself and say, wait a minute, is it helpful for you to look up everything you need to know about roller skating? Or can you just start with one thing? Because what I don't want for you, and what I have learned is very important for myself as well, is if I let overwhelm take a hold of my curiosity, right? If that disguise is successful, I don't want to do the thing. I don't want anything to do with it because I'm so overwhelmed and I'm like, nope. And that's, not a good place to be. So definitely, as always, explore this question and these questions with curiosity, not judgment. As always, thank you so much for listening. Please rate and review this podcast wherever you're listening to my words. And if this episode in this series has been helpful for you, please share it. We are here on this planet to help each other. So if it was helpful for you, please pass it along. And until next time, take care.